Joe Burrow set to start tonight, according to Ian Rappaport and Shefty. Official word's going to come in a little bit, so hang tight on that. But Joe Burrow set to start tonight. Now, he could go out there and warm up. Could go out there and have a setback, so you have to be prepared for that risk level, because according to reports, it's still not 100% official. It's being reported by Shefty and Rappaport that he is going to start. He's out there warming up. He looks good. He's clearly not 100%, but Joe Burrow will start tonight. That's great news for Jamar Chase. It's great news for people that have been holding out for Burrow and had maybe Baker. And if you got to make that decision, you got to take the risk on that and say, okay, well, we'll let Baker fly, and then we'll go with Joe Burrow. So hang tight. We're getting into all that and more. The Fantasy Football Show begins right now. Buckle up. Of course, my intro's not going. I got to manually punch this. This has been happening lately.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live!
Monday through Friday,
8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here. Monday Night Football doubleheader. Let's go. Joseph Cigar Smoking Burrow is set to potentially start tonight. It's all expected at this point, but again, he could go out in warm-ups, go out and tweak something. So you have to be able and capable of understanding that if you're risking it for the biscuit. So Joe Burrow will give it a go. Appreciate everybody in here. File on in. Hit that like button on your way in the door. And we are early for sure, because we got this Monday night game, and I usually do that on Monday nights. I usually come in strong early, and then we obviously do a live waiver wire show after the Monday night game concludes. So get ready for that. We've got some other news to discuss on screen here, so punch that thumb up button. Let's get into it. Appreciate you all being here, and don't forget to use Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. Underdog. Let's see if my setup is working. I don't know that it's working yet. There we go. I think it is working now. Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. They'll match up to $500 temporarily. Okay, this is a limited time. Double your first deposit up to $500 by using promo code Smitty, or the link that I'm going to drop in the live chat right this very second. So if you're sitting there going, yeah, I've been wanting to do this underdog thing that Smitty keeps talking about, drafting for week 4. If your team's in shambles, redraft week 4. Draft for week 4. Use code Smitty. The link I just dropped in the live chat right this very second. I'm going to pin the link. Pinned message activated. And you will get up to $500 on your first deposit, doubled up to $500. So if you put in 100, they'll give you 100. You put in 500, they'll give you 500 until October 4th, I believe, is when that cutoff happens. Thor Bear, a member for 14 months, down 11 versus Hurts, need 2. AJ Brown, Swift, and Higgins. I'd probably go AJ Brown and Swift, but can we get a chat vote on that? AJ Brown, Swift, Higgins, pick 2. Joe Burrow's out there, which is fantastic. He looks good on the sideline. Isn't even looking like it's hampering him too much. I'm real encouraged right now, to be honest with you. It was a little bit discouraging last night, thinking Joe Burrow was going to be out for a number of weeks. He's out there. That's fantastic. Lego dropping a 20 wad says, let's go.
Alert. Super chat alert.
$20 super chat. $20 super chat.
Alert. Super chat alert.
That's my boy Lego coming in strong with just a little bit of motivation. Lego is the bomb. Lego, I appreciate you. Lego to the freaking moon.
To the moon.
You're unbelievable, Lego, is what you are. Thank you for your super chat. Appreciate you very much. This one here from Caleb. Trade Lamar for Garrett Wilson. Panic on Breece. You're going to put Breece on the bench if you've got better options, but this is a panic on his situation, not necessarily on Breece himself. I just want to clarify there is a difference, but perception's reality. Situation can't be taken away from players, so depends on what you got. You got an A-chain, now you know what to do until further notice, but Depends who you're putting on the bench. Okay, I'm going to get to these other super chats in 1 minute. Let me get to the news that's on the screen here. Caleb, appreciate you dropping the super chat. Thank you, Lego. Alvin Camara activated from the reserve suspended list. That is fantastic news. We've been expecting it. I've left these picks over here that have been sitting here for the last like 2 or 3, 4 shows. This was the list of targeting before week 3 kicked off. Debo, A-Chain, Watson, Camara, Taylor, Warren. Warren didn't quite do what I hoped he would do. A-Chain clearly did what we freaking... League winner, A-Chain potentially. Buckle up on that one. Taylor, I still think is an acquire. Obviously, it's going to get harder to acquire. Like Camara right now, we've been talking about acquiring Camara all offseason. It's going to get harder and harder to acquire him now that he's back. His owner's like itching. They've been waiting. They've been holding him the whole time. They're the ones been doing the heavy lifting, holding Camara. So getting Camara at this point is going to be tough. Ian Rappaport officially tweeting it. He is active. It's official. He's officially active. I'll put that on screen right now. Officially active. That's great news. So that's breaking, even though we already had word from Shefty and Rappaport that he was going to play. Debo, obviously going to be hard to get him at this point. Watson, go buy him low. We knew that if he didn't play this week, and there's still a chance maybe he sits one more week, there's still a good buy low opportunity. Imagine how good Jordan Love's going to be. So many haters of Jordan Love through 2 quarters of football. Kind of feels like some of the people that are totally down on every other freaking player right now that isn't doing well. Keep in mind, we're 3 weeks into football. And just like we were 2 weeks in, a small microcosm, a small example of what I think we need to take away from weeks 1 through 3 is that everybody and their mother said that, oh, I guess Jordan Love turned into a pumpkin in quarter 1 and quarter 2. And then what did he do? He came out hardcore in the second half, threw 2 touchdowns, led the team to a win. And he's doing this all without his number 1 running back. That's a top 5 running back and probably his second best receiver on the team. He's doing this all without his number 1 wide receiver. I don't care what Dobbs does one week or Reed does another week. Christian Watson's his number 1 wide receiver and a top 12 to 15 potential wide receiver if he can stay healthy. Something we can't guarantee, but it's definitely in the cards if he's healthy. Imagine how good Jordan Love is going to be once he gets 2 amazing players back. His number 1 wide receiver and his number 1 running back that serves as one of his top receiving options. I don't think people understand how hampered he is. I don't think people understand that Jordan Love's literally playing football with one arm tied behind his back, and it feels like his good arm tied behind his back. Can you imagine if you took Diggs off of the Buffalo Bills? What would you be saying about Josh Allen's productivity? Down. What if you took Kelsey off? Oh, we saw that in week 1. Taking Kelsey off the Chiefs is almost not as impactful as taking both Christian Watson and Aaron Jones off of the Green Bay Packers. So I just want everybody to understand, Love is just getting going. And if you're going to jump off the ship after 2 quarters of play when Jordan Love needs you, he doesn't need you anyway. Okay, Jordan Love to the moon.
To the moon.
Camara to the moon.
To the moon.
Jimmy Garoppolo, look, let me also say this. I always come in and I own up to things. Davante Adams is getting fed. He's getting fed. There is some serious question about the hospital balls getting thrown his way. And keep in mind that part of my concern with Adams isn't necessarily that he can't have good games. So if people want to say, oh, Smitty, how wrong do you feel on Adams? Not exactly the way you think I'm thinking about it. I do think Adams is fully capable of having these big games. And Adams was a monster, and let's give Adams the credit he deserves. And let's honestly say Adams was a much better pick than Garrett Wilson by a home freaking run. Like, I take ownership of that. Take a lap me. I've missed on Garrett Wilson regardless of how it went down. Aaron Rodgers went down. Doesn't matter. It's still on me. Garrett Wilson, while he still should be in your lineups, and he almost caught another touchdown, which would have been 3 games in a row with a touchdown. I think people are overreacting on Garrett Wilson to the degree they want to bench him for a bunch of scrubs. But Garrett Wilson has come nowhere near, and probably won't, his ADP. And that's on me. That's a big miss on me. And Adams was a much better pick. But Jimmy Garoppolo is going to get him hurt, and he's throwing him hospital balls all day long. And even the announcer said the other day, he's like, you can't throw a football up like that. Like, your receiver's getting leveled. And Jimmy Garoppolo is now in concussion protocol. What does that mean? The Raiders look awful. And while I was a little bit harsh on Adams, and I'm not saying that Adams stays healthy in this condition, with this situation going on, he is playing well. He's playing well. He's figuring it out. Jacobs is not. So that part I feel like we hit pretty hardcore. Right, nail on the head with Jacobs. Jacobs looks sluggish. He doesn't look the same. He had over close to 400 carries or total touches in 2022, and that oftentimes leads to an injury. Then when you hold out an entire August and you come fresh into September, it's not the same. He's not in rhythm. He even said himself he's not in rhythm. That's what happens when you hold out. Deebo Samuel held out and was out of football through all of August. Deebo Samuel was out of rhythm last year. It can happen with a wide receiver. It can happen with a running back. But I do believe that Jimmy Garoppolo, this is kind of like almost convenient when you think about it. And I don't mean that in a negative way toward the injury part of it. Just that he's in concussion protocol. They need to get O'Connell in there. I don't even know if they would start O'Connell. It sounds like they might start, Hoyer? I don't think they're even set to put O'Connell in there. They need to change directions, and maybe just the news wires don't know about that. But this guy is conveniently maybe not going to be available this week, and they get to they should throw O'Connell out there. O'Connell would be the savior for, I think, Adams long term, because I don't think he gets Adams hurt, and I think he laser locks on Adams. So Adams could have a very, very, very strong finish to the season if O'Connell can get in there, which was one thing we did preface, that O'Connell could be the savior. I know Jimmy's been feeding him, but I think Jimmy's going to get him hurt. But Jimmy is in concussion protocol. We'll see what happens there. Patrick Mahomes, source close to the Chiefs confirmed Mahomes' ankle is all good, so no worries or concerns about Mahomie. Don't wish, no need to wish upon a star tonight about that. I think everything's good to go. Mike Williams confirmed ACL. We talked about it yesterday that it was an ACL tear, and as I mentioned yesterday, I knew it was an ACL, and I even came on here and talked about it, because the moment the knee buckles, for one, that's a sign of an ACL tear. Two, when a player grabs the back of their knee, here's the front of the knee. Usually, as soon as you tear it, the pain you feel is right here. And so he immediately grabbed the back of his knee. That is a definite sign of an ACL tear. So we knew that was probably in the cards. And so prayers up to Mike Williams. Quentin Johnson will be, and Kelly, Kelly, we got to talk about Joshua Kelly. And a lot of people are going to cut him, and I don't blame you. I think that any Eckler owners need to pick him up just to cuff, just in case. But we need to talk about this wide receiver room. We need to talk about who you're picking up. Is it Quentin Johnson? Johnson's a nice pickup if he's available. Definitely going to see more opportunities moving forward, so we'll have to wait and see on this one. Mike Williams out for the season. Joe Burrow is starting. If you're late to the party, Joe Burrow is starting tonight. Get him in your lineups. Joe Burrow, thank goodness we're getting a little sense of what's going on here right now, and confirmation on it, versus like we're hearing he's starting and then it's not official. It's been made official. He's active. He still could have a setback in warmups. Just know that you're taking on that risk by passing on another quarterback that's playing right now, Baker, whatever. But appreciate you all filing in here. Trade JT and Ayuk for Bijan. Look, I still believe in Bijan. We are 1 week removed from everybody ranking him as a number 2 running back in fantasy football. Like, coming out of week 2 after 120 plus yards, everyone's like, he's the number 2 running back. He's the number 2 running back. Behind CMC, he's the number 2 running back. He's absolute gold. 1 week has gone by. 1 week has gone by. Now he's like outside of a lot of people's top 5. I don't really understand that. But that is a good trade if you need a spark. If you're 0-3 and you get JT and Ayuk, it's not a horrible move. You know, it's definitely a crafty move in some ways, and it's a crafty move for the Bijan owner, the new Bijan owner, if they have the depth to do it. Jacobs, Zay Flowers for Camara. I would take Camara and run, Judy. Good question. Thank you for your super chat. I appreciate you. Zastro coming in with a $5 got Hunt for free off waivers and turned him into Davante. Yeah, hopefully Davante gets going, you know. Then turned Henry plus Davante for Bijan. Now we're talking. You didn't overpay. You did it live. You bought low. You let everybody say what they want about Bijan, bro. We're 3 weeks into football, and we knew they were going to ease him and Gibbs. And I know everybody's freaking out on Gibbs. I'm not saying there's not reason to be concerned about Gibbs. I'm not saying anything of the sort. But I will say that I feel like people are very, very judgmental of a rookie running back that got 17 carries and averaged 4.7 yards a carry and was at the door, knocking on the door of a touchdown or two. It didn't get in. The play calls didn't help him. It wasn't his fault. He averaged 4.7 yards per carry. They started calling better plays for Gibbs in the second half. He ripped off a 21-yard run. He had 4.7 yards a carry. So, anyway, 14-team PPR. Herbs, Bijan, Warren, Chase, AJ Brown, Olave, Ingram, benches, JSN, Goff, Breda. I'm 1 and 2 help. So with this team, you're in a 14-teamer. I think the best move for you is to wait out this AJ Brown situation, regroup next week. There's not a lot I want you to move. You need to wait. Herb's playing fine. Bijan's going to be fine. Warren's crafty. Make sure A-Chain isn't available like your boy's been saying all week long and last week and the week before. Ingram's fantastic. JSN wait on. Roshan wait on. Bigsby's okay. You're going to be fine. Zastra, I wouldn't touch that team because touching it would mean you'd have to move some things around that I like. PPR, and you'd have to sell low. Up 7, he has Godwin. Who do I play, Rashad White or Swift? I don't know how you could sit Swift. I'm not saying it can't work out. Trust your gut, but I don't know how anybody can sit Swift coming off of 170 and a touchdown. I just don't understand it. Give Ridley and Barkley for Kupp and Gibbs. I probably would say, I'd probably say Ridley and Barkley because we don't know. If you want to take a gamble, if you need to take a gamble on Kupp, it's not a crazy move. But I think I'd lean the other direction. But I still am interested in trading Barkley away on the high, like for Bijan. Trade Jahan Dotson and Kelly for Dell. Absolutely smash that. That's a fantastic trade. Dell to the moon. Dell's been literally atop our waiver wire video, even our pre-week 1, trying to anticipate what week 1 waivers would look like. Our pre-week 1, our actual coming out of week 1, our actual coming out of week 2, and now walking into and coming out of week 3. Every single one of these shows, Dell's been at the top. You know, A-Chain's been in the top 4 or 5 running backs, floating around, constant emphasis on A-Chain. Roshan's been up there in all fairness, but he hasn't really had the full chance. QB Burrow is expected to play, guys. Make sure you're aware of this if you're coming in late. $20 hauler. $20 hauler from Cedar. Let's go.
Alert. Super chat alert. Alert. Super chat alert.
Appreciate you, Cedar. To the moon. Cedar to the moon. Cedar coming in saying non-PPR last place. Hurts, Fields, Ingram, Bijan, Hall, Camara, Davante, Dalvin, Sharps, Roshan, Diggs, Ridley. It's a good team. This sucks to see a team like this make you feel like you have a bad team. You do not have a bad team. You have a very good team. And don't feel bad about Tua. Hurts. I know it feels bad to watch Tua do what he's doing, but Hurts is going to go out there and do good things and have a day too. Okay, so you're going to be okay there. Don't even stress it. Traded Tua because the same bye week. Drop someone for A-Chain or Dell. Drop Fields for CJ. Honestly, I don't hate that move. I hate to say that we're there with Fields, but if you have to drop Fields for CJ Stroud, you might as well pick up Stroud. And yes, I would take Dell and A-Chain, both players that we've been touting all freaking 3 weeks long to pick up. And who do you drop, though, from this list? Deontay, for sure. Deontay's your easy drop for A-Chain. And you should full load drop. If anybody's got a chance to full load drop on freaking A-Chain, you have to drop every single dollar on A-Chain.
Initiate full load drop.
Every single dollar on A-Chain. Every single dollar. This was, look, A-Chain's been on this list the entire offseason, every single one of these shows, Dell's been on this list, Love's been on this list every single week. And depending on if your holds, some of those advice like you need now production, you pick up Ford, or you could use A-Chain and risk the biscuit on them. There's all kinds of reasons to rank those running backs different, but you gotta go get the boys, bro. Dell and A-Chain are the boys. Go get them, put them on the bench. Let's go. Definitely feel like you could cut Deontay. Past that, I don't know who else you would cut. Can't cut Charbonnet. He's looking active. I would say JSN maybe, and I hate to do that. But this is a good team. Do not fret. Do not get all crazy. You get Camara coming back. You can put Hall on the bench if you want for now. Waddle comes back. Your wide receivers are off the hook. Addison's fine for your flex. Easy team to win with, to be honest with you. I would love this team. I would draft your team again right now. I want you to know that. 10-team PPR, 0-3. Fields grabbing CJ off waivers. Gibbs, K9, Charbonnet, Swift, Kyron, Amon-Ra, Garrett Wilson, Watson, Dotson, Dell. Traded Garrett Wilson plus Swift for Waddle. Thoughts? I can't say I love that, Thomas, but I don't hate it either. I mean, I like Waddle. He's in a great offense. He's going to have a good season as long as he can stay healthy. But I do think Swift, we're going to find out tonight if this was a mistake. If Swift goes out there and gets 40 yards, I think you're going to feel pretty good about the trade. If Swift goes out there and does what he did last week to a degree, he won't have 170 yards, but if he has like 100 or 90 and a touch, I think you're going to feel like maybe you gave up a little much, but it's not like you can't recover from that. If Waddle comes out and just balls out, then you're fine. You're going to feel fine about it. God offered Swift and Christian Watson for my Breece Hall. I would take Swift and Christian Watson and run. And that's coming from a big Breece Hall supporter, believer, hopeful fan of his. But you take that. You got to be objective. $10 hauler. Josh?
To the moon.
Josh to the moon. Appreciate Josh coming in strong. I don't know what's going on with my internet. My internet's been down. I have two, so I'm on a different internet, but my internet for my for the game and everything, I gotta have the breakdown, and I gotta have the NFL countdown going on. So I gotta pull it up on my phone here while we do this. Smitty, you're the GOAT. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Josh. You were the GOAT, not me. I got Richardson, ETN, Walker, Tyreek Hill, Amon-Ra, Laporta. You're doing good. D. Adams traded Pollard for him earlier. On the bench, I got Dak, Camara. You're looking great. Where do I improve? You don't. You sit on that team unless you're trading like Madison and London away for like an underdog, underrated player. Do you have Christian Watson? Christian Watson would be perfect for this team. JT Camara would be perfect for this. You got Camara. JT would be perfect for this team. But I'm not touching the main pieces of that team at all. At all. Let's see here. Let me see if I can get this game on. So the game's kicking off here very, very soon. Jay, appreciate you. Jay says, trade Love Connor for Burrow, Javante Davis. No, I'm keeping Love and Connor. First of all, let me also take a lap on Connor. Connor's been playing great. Every week I'm like, Cardinals are going to suck. Part of that's some bias that I'm a little bit bent out of shape out of my Cardinals. Not looking like they're going to have a good year, but man, they keep doing it. They keep figuring out a way. Gannon might be a good coach. They love playing for this guy. And I don't know. Connor looks good. He looks really good. And that's on me. That's on me, guys. I'm sorry about that. But I don't know that Connor stays healthy, but he looks fantastic. So the answer is no. You can't make that trade right now. Not the way the Cardinals are somehow figuring it out. Especially against the Dallas defense, bro. Like, at this point, you can't... I don't think we can use matchups ever again for the rest of the year. Because we say things like, oh, the Niners against Kyron and Puka, nothing. Doesn't mean a thing. And, oh, okay, but Dallas against, Connor, we got to beat... No, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Kind of need a running back. Only got Swift, Hall, and Walker, and Roshan. Do I trade Amon-Ra for Camara or ride it out? I mean... Look, I don't know that you necessarily do. Like, you're good at running back. People would love to have your problem at running back. Walker and Swift, you could put Hall on the bench for now if you wanted to go with a wide receiver. But I like this. I I like this combination, and you're waiting on Brees. You don't drop Brees or anything. That boy with a $2 hauler got sent. I would say I'm on Raw above Camara, but if you wanted to make a swap, that's a good one to make. I got sent Bijan, Dell for Chase. I would take Bijan and Dell over Chase personally. That's me, but I can understand both. You might even want to hold your finger over the button during this game, tonight, and say, like, what's Chase look like, and make a decision based on that. $5 10-team PPR, 1 flex. Hurts, Henry, Mixon, Ford, A-Chain, Kelly, Spears, Olave, Evans, Dell, Elijah Moore, Wilson, Shaheed, Myers. What do you think? Who do we start week 4? It's a little early for that, but I would say, we're going Hurts. You kind of got to go A-Chain and either Mixon or Henry, depending on how Mixon does, and then you have a flex spot. Ford's intriguing, though, but I would trade away Henry. I would get Henry, and you got to trade him away for another, like a wide receiver. You got to go across position, because I don't think anybody's going to give you what you want for Derrick Henry in terms of running back exchange. I think you got to go across position, get a team that's hurting at RB to say, I'll take a chance on Henry. I'll ambulance chase here, and I'll go get Henry, and you can get a Ridley on the cheap. I would do that in a millisecond. Olave, Evans are your starters, and then Dell's your third wide receiver. And if you have an additional flex, then it would be Henry, or Mixon, depending on who you sit, but you're starting A-Chain. Appreciate you. You'll know what to do with Goddard after tonight in terms of week 4, okay? So hang tight on that one. This one's from Mr. Q. Mr. Q says, I'm dropping Monty for A-Chain. I have Gibbs. I don't blame you for doing that, but you certainly want to try to drop somebody else. Even if it's your kicker, as long as your kicker isn't like the top kicker in the league, bro, drop your kicker and wait it out all week and then pick up another kicker later and drop whoever, buys you time. Tank A-Chain in my main league, thanks to you. Appreciate you, Wheezy. Appreciate the props, my guy. It's fantastic to hear, and I always like to hear when you guys are doing well. It is what it is with some of this stuff, and we're going to weather through it together. And, my main objective here is to come to you freshly each week. And then I know a lot of people get some discomfort with that when I walk in the door and I say, you know what, Connor looks great. And I know that pisses off a lot of people. They say, but you didn't like him. Who cares what I liked or didn't like? Do you want me to be honest, or do you want me to not be honest? My job is to come in here and report everything as accurately as I feel I can moving forward in this moment in time. And that's going to be admitting I'm wrong. That's going to be admitting I missed some things. We've hit a lot of things too. I think a lot of people do put too much emphasis on the Moonmen list. There's 12 or 15 guys that we highlight hardcore. And I warn everyone not to draft an entire group of Marsmen or Moonmen, because then you don't have diversity. And then so if they start off slow, and these are upside guys, it's not like I'm ranking the top 12 overall players. These are guys that you can get at value. They could be explosive and help you win a league. And so when the Moonmen don't land, 12 or 15 guys, the whole show gets defined on that. People come in and go, oh, you're doing real bad, aren't you? You got 40% of your Moonmen right. This is a 40% channel. When we do a lot more damage than that. So those are the parts that get a little frustrating when I'm defined by just these 12 to 15 players. And who else does that, though? Who else puts 12 to 15 players at the forefront of their show, lets it linger there all off season long, at the risk of, if you get 50% of your bold predictions right, these are bold predictions, then you look like what? Your channel's tanking? You don't have a whole lot of good advice? That's what people are coming in at me at times. Not everybody. There's a lot of people out here that feel good about what's going on here. But it's like, we're going to miss on the Moonmen. It's not going to be a 90% list. It's a bold prediction list. And it's going to take time with some of them. So relax on it. And I appreciate you. Okay, this one right here, Tank A-Chain in my main league, thanks to you. Thank you, Wheezy, again, appreciate you. Wheezy, you're the man. I'm leaving this amazing comment up right here. Appreciate you, bro. Absolute boss. David Klein, $10 hauler. David.
To the moon.
Moonman David right there. Dynasty 1 QB league, would you trade ETN for Taylor? I'd probably keep ETN right now, because you kind of hope and dream that JT becomes Taylor or ETN. You know what I mean? But if I could get JT and like a Christian Watson, JT and a player, I would do it. Guys, right now, buy low on A.J. Brown before this game kicks off. I don't know how many more times I got to tell you. I got it right here. I'll highlight it, but A.J. Brown needs to be had right now. If you've got an offer sitting there, and it's a player we've talked about all week, I think this is the game. I'm not saying Davante Smith doesn't do well this week. He's fantastic. And a couple of people in my comments of a video yesterday said that I was against Davante Smith. I was never against Davante Smith. There's actually a YouTube reel that I have out that says he'd be a top 5 wide receiver, and it didn't happen the first year. Got clowned on. You can go look at the comments saying this aged like, spoiled milk. And then a year later, people returning to the comments saying, wow, Davante Smith's the real deal. I never once said I didn't like Davante Smith. I said draft him in the 3rd round to maximize your ability to weather through some slow starts or whatever the hell might be happening. Look what's been happening in Philly. And while it's been A.J. Brown that's been hit by it and, got that wrong as to which receiver could have a sluggish start, that's what I said. So everyone twisting up the Davante Smith stuff. Davante Smith is a beast, man. Absolute beast. And I think he could have a great day. I think him and A.J. Brown could both have a great day. Stafford or Burrow, I'm starting Burrow personally. But the thing you got to understand here is these 2 wide receivers are going to rotate on occasion. And if A.J. Brown gets the go-ahead to be the beast of the night, then you're not getting him low. This is the last opportunity. This is Deebo Samuel before Deebo Samuel's Thursday night game. This is your buy low. I fully expect the Eagle players to have a big, big game. I think Hurts is going to ball out, give him 2 touchdowns on the ground, at least 1 or 2 passing, or at least 3 total. 300 yards total for Hurts. Hurts is going to have a great day. I think Goddard bounces back, assuming he's good to go and able to play and all that. Swift is going to have a day. Swift's going to have 100 total yards. This is a man that they believe in. And you can see it. You can see it in the comments, in the coaching mannerisms when they're talking about him. You can feel that they understand what they have now, where they didn't before. Or at least they did. They traded for him, but they weren't using him the way that they should. 10 teams, 3 wide receiver, 1 flex PPR moves, thoughts, 3-0. You're 3-0, so before I look, I'll just say right now, you're doing the right thing. Anthony Richardson needs to be your starter. Pollard, K9. Can we get some respect for K9, damn it?
Kenneth Skywalker. Kenneth Lightsaber Swinging Skywalker.
Can we get some damn respect for Kenneth Skywalker, please? Your team is amazing. Keep the faith in Pollard. He had 100 yards rushing. K9's monstrous. Mostert's your running back 3 or flex guaranteed right now. Keenan Allen's balling out. Another guy I said I worried about. And it doesn't mean he's going to stay healthy. That's part of my concern. But let me just take a lap on the fact that he's balling out right now. And with Mike Williams down, that probably will continue. And if he stays healthy, he'll continue to ball out. But health is a concern for me. But as of right now, it's lap time on the Keenan Allen front. And I'm taking my lumps. I'm being a man about it. So you've got an amazing team. Olave, don't touch this team unless you're taking Pittman in London, turning it into a Pittman London T-Lob because someone's struggling at quarterback and T-Lob bounces back and turning that into some sort of like JT or something like that. Let's see here. Okay, so thank you for that, Logan. You're the man. Appreciate you. This one right here from Alex. Alex says, should I trade away Camara and Cooper for CD? No, I would not do that. CD doesn't have the offensive support right now to feel confident in that trade. Absolutely no. Absolutely no. Trade Stevenson for Breece Hall. Edgar, I'd rather have Stevenson at this moment in time, but that could definitely change. $10 hauler from Julian.
To the moon.
The running backs are in shambles. We're going to have to do a running back ranking show this week, and maybe we do it by poll, and we just see what, and I'll tell you where I have everybody differently than the poll, but I would love to know what everybody's top 10 running backs are, because they're absolutely crazy. It's crazy, like, to rank them right now. This team right here, 12 team, 2 wide receiver, 2 flex, Hurts, QB, Kyron, B-Rob, Madison, Pacheco, Spears, Sharps, Tyreek, Olave, Watson. Fantastic team. Trying to sell Madison, but no luck. Yeah, I mean, you have to sell Madison with the player. Madison, Pacheco. I doubt you get a Camara or JT, but if you threw in like a potential Watson when he's healthy, maybe you get something done. But especially if Camara comes out and struggles his first week back, you might be able to sell if Pacheco does well again, Pacheco and Watson or something like that. So I think your move to make is later when Watson gains value, JSN gains value. Madison I get rid of immediately. Maybe Madison and Pacheco to a running back needy team, and you go get a freaking wide receiver that we like that's kind of like on the cheap right now. But that's the only thing I can think of for your team at this moment. Otherwise, I'd hold strong. Your team looks really good. We're going after Josh Palmer or Johnston with Williams out. Probably Johnston, I guess, but we'll get to that tonight on the waiver wire show. I'd be curious to know what the rest of you feel on that one. Man, this is exciting that Joseph Cigar Smoking Burrow is playing tonight, guys. Super excited that Joe Burrow is going to start this game. Can't tell you how thrilled I am, because that's been a downer for Jamar Chase's value. It's been a downer across the board. But now we have Joseph Cigar Smoking Burrow starting tonight, assuming there's no setback. And yes, you got a dilemma if for any reason. Okay, here we go. Baker Mayfield snapping the football under center. 15 minutes. The game begins. Kickoff already happened, but the timer starts ticking away. Carry to Rachaad White for a small gain. Second down. I'm hopeful Rachaad White can do well. Baker's been playing well enough, let's be honest, that Rachaad White's, the fear of Rachaad White seeing just 8-man fronts is no longer a thing. But I do fear when Baker, or if Baker gets hurt, Baker does feel like an injury waiting to happen. If Baker goes down, what happens to Mike Evans' value? So, like, is selling Mike Evans high a smart move? Handoff to Rachaad White, gets a slippery little guy, gets about, when I say little, I mean big. Slippery big guy gets about 6-7 yards on that one, I think. It's like third and like 2 or 3. Baker Mayfield, Rachaad White, Mike Evans, Godwin, Kate Otten. There are your fantasy guys in the lineup for tonight on the Bucs side of the football. Baker breaks the huddle. Rachaad White in the backfield from the shotgun. Baker wipes his hand on the towel, says blue 32, looks to his left. Evans in motion. Evans settles. Nice little, like, I don't know, like 8-yard and out for Godwin. Russian collusion coming in strong with a $20 hauler collusion to the moon. Collusion to the moon. Where's my... Here it is.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Collusion, appreciate you. Baker under center. White in the backfield. Motion. Handoff. No, fake. Baker downfield. Overthrows. Who is that? Tompkins. Tompkins looked a little banged up when he got up. Smitty, I feel like I missed my second round pick in home league with Garrett Wilson. I mean, we all feel that way with Garrett Wilson. And it's like we can try and like blame it on something we should have seen coming. We could not have seen Aaron Rodgers tearing his Achilles in the first couple plays. So you can't look at it in a negative way on yourself, or honestly, and I'm not trying to just say that, to try and save face on the prediction of it, but you can't see that coming, bro. Okay, so what wide receiver do you think I can get for him? I think you're better off going in a package deal. Team is Love, Fields, Bijan, Davante, Herbert, A-Chain, Garrett Wilson, Watson, Cooks, Kirk, Dell, Laporta, Kincaid. Bro, I don't know. Like Garrett Wilson and Davante for like one player. I don't think you can get Camara or JT, but you certainly would try, right? Go to a QB needy team that might be willing to gamble on Fields. I can't say that they 100% are going to be on board that, but almost an interception there. That was a kind of errant pass to Mike Evans. But when you got Mike Evans, you just throw it up there. You just say he's up there, he'll catch it. 4th and 8. Mike Evans looks a little hobbled, but not like injured. It's not like he's going to the training staff. He's just, I think he maybe hit the ground hard, probably like some sort of like bruise, or he was a little hobbled. Mike should have caught that. That wasn't on Baker. When I say errant pass, I take that back. It was definitely like hey, throw it in his vicinity, but he did touch the football with his hands, and he should have came down with that. That was on Mike Evans. It was a little high, just a little high, almost an interception. Football punted high in the air, caught about the 11-yard line. Eagles running this one back about 12 yards or 10 yards, something like that. Jalen Hurts hitting the field, licks his fingers, says, let's go do some work. Let's go do some work. So I don't know, bro. I'd say like Garrett Wilson and Davante for, A.J. Brown would have been perfect, man. And I don't know that maybe you tried that. Now that he's playing, you probably won't see that. If A.J. Brown struggles or Devontae Smith struggles, you could go that direction. Ayuk is an interesting play if you want to get out of Garrett Wilson and take a gamble. Christian Watson and something is a nice potential move, but you already have Christian Watson. Yeah, not a lot of people. Maybe you go across position, you buy a Gibbs, you try and, buy low on that using Garrett Wilson. I think across position usually works best. Other wide receivers to potentially go after this week. It was easy to do this. I don't know if it's going to be coming into this next week, but Flowers is interesting. I'm not saying straight up, but just as a package deal, you get a running back in Flowers. You get, depending on what A.J. Brown does, A.J. Brown. Ridley's low. You could maybe try to get rid of Garrett Wilson and Davante for Ridley. I've seen some pretty ridiculous offers come through my text line that are very bad. People giving up on Ridley, and I've had to yell at some people and say, what are you doing? What are you doing? Ridley was a first rounder walking into week number 3. Walking out of week 3? Now he's what? He's garbage? Bench? People tell me, should I bench Ridley until further notice? What do you mean? You can't bench Ridley after he had an amazing week 1, dropped some touchdowns in weeks 2 and 3 combined, that probably to the tune of 3 or 4 touchdowns. Some of them were broken up, PI. 2 of them were for sure his fault, but there's no way I'm sitting this man. Let's go. Tony with the super chat. Week 5 bye. Hell, Stafford 2-2 versus Philly, or CJ Dell versus Atlanta. I'd go CJ Dell, bro. But that's me. That's a really, really close call. Look, they're both playing well. Got hit with the old, I accidentally pressed the accept button in the wrong league veto trade. Man, that sucks. Can't stand. Man, that I hate that when that happens. I hate when that happens. Perk, I'm sorry about that. What you got to do is have that in the rules. Like, if you do it, you do it. But it depends how it's done, too. Like, if someone, messages immediately, like within seconds, oh, I hit the wrong, that's different. But if you do it, even 5 minutes later, that's remorse. That's trade remorse. Handoff. Swift. 9 yards, we'll take it. DeAndre Swift.
To the moon.
We'll take 9 yards a pop. It looks like it was about an 8-yarder. I got excited. I said 9. It was 8. 1 and 2, Mahomes, JJ, Olave, Camara, Swift. You're set, bro. You're set. Don't fret on this team being 1 and 2. Phenomenal squad. I don't think I move anything. I think you got A-Chain now. I got an A-Chain problem, which is a good problem to have. Kyron, A-Chain. Maybe you're trading 1 with London for 1 player. Maybe you're going after JT. Hurts back to pass. A.J. Brown catches it. Takes it about what? I don't know. 30 yards? 30 yards, 25, 30 yards? AJ Brown season. He looks strong tonight. Yellow shoes, yellow mouthpiece. He's got that bright yellow going on, very easy to see. Hey, Hurts, look him over here. He's the only one with bright yellow shoes and a yellow freaking a mouthpiece. It makes it really easy to find him. I'm not gonna lie. Fields, if a quarterback needy team is interested, AJ Brown. What, another 15? Another 15 yards, or something like that? Anyway, very good. Very good team. Don't mess with it too much unless you're trading one of the wide receivers. Throw to Davante Smith, short little gain, nice PPR point there. Hawkinson, this is a good team. You just hang tight unless you get JT using London and maybe even Dell and freaking Kyron, and you go after JT. That's a move that could win a league. Those are just a couple thoughts. Past that, you don't need to do a thing because that team is marvelous. And don't worry about the record. Trade Love for Burrow and flip for Hall. I don't know. I think Love is more value than Burrow right at this moment. But why don't you have your finger over the button? And if you're sending it out, maybe send it out after you see Joe Burrow. But I don't. Swift catching a big long. What is this? That was like a 9-yard reception. DeAndre. Coach Smitty. Oh, it's nice to have a game that's got fantasy production. You know, maybe that's part of why I'm so excited. Just seeing everybody get a little piece of the pie today makes me feel good. Hurts scrambling to the right, throws a missile into the end zone. Oh! 4th and 2. I don't like that this is ending with a field goal. Felt so promising, but man, a lot of good throws, a lot of good yardage racked up. A.J. Brown doing some work. I don't know, what's A.J. Brown? Got 40 yards at this point. Swift, probably about 15, 20 total yards minimum. I would guess. I don't have it in front of me because I got 10 different screens over here. I was a little bit behind, man. If he just would have led him. Oh, they're going for it. 4th and 2. I know might be a little bit behind because of the YouTube delay. Some of you might see that this is already played out because it's 10-second delay. Hurts handing the football off to not even Swift. It's Gainwell. That's what you get for handing the ball to Gainwell. I have an idea. A guy named, and this is not me saying that it's going to go wrong coaching-wise. Please don't take this like a Swift is going down value-wise. He was in there almost the whole drive, so relax. But I got an idea. We need 2 yards. Let's hand it to the guy that was out all week and the guy that didn't just get 170 yards and rip off like, what was it, 7, 8, 9, 10 yards of carry. Let's give it to the other guy. Let's give it to the other guy that's not explosive. He's still going to get a lot of carries, don't worry. Got Josh Allen trade for... Oh, okay, I'm sorry, bro. I see that you got Josh Allen, Jay. I probably read it. It didn't register in a 1 QB. I would say... I would rather have Hall, yes. But if you can't make that trade, like, you got to set up both trades. But yes, Jay, I'm sorry if I didn't see that. Approve. Smitty approved that plan of attack. That's a good one. Problem blessed with a $5 hauler. How do I go get Lamar, Herbert, PPR, 2 flex? Team is T-Law, Bijan, Ford. Probably using Ford. See if Goddard does well tonight. The tight end market's so bleak that if he does well, he'll be an attractive piece. Flowers, I don't think people realize how good Flowers is going to be. And I know Flowers kind of did mediocre, but Flowers is going to explode. Okay, his usage, his targets, the amount of work that he gets and doesn't, kind of like Gibbs. I think people don't see that Gibbs is such a used piece of the offense. It's just not, they're not being as efficient. Part of that, the first half they weren't efficient with Gibbs. He did get better play calls. They did get him in open space. He did rip off a 21-yard run in the second half. Gibbs did do well. Gibbs averaged 4.7 yards per carry. Gibbs had 17 carries. He only had 1 reception. That was where the problem was. If Gibbs had got 4 or 5 receptions for 40 yards, everybody would be saying Gibbs had over 100 total yards. He's fine. So that's where the problem lies. Flowers will be good. Pickens is great. You could potentially try and trade maybe a Pickens or Goddard, depending how he does. Dell with a T-Law to go get a Lamar or Herbert. I imagine. I don't think it would be that hard to throw a Dell in there. Dell looks really good right now. I'm not even sure. I love the idea of trading Dell. But if you needed to and you felt good about that for your quarterback room, would you sell A-Chain high now or keep him? I would sell anybody high, Collusion. Anybody. That goes for Bijan, Gibbs. If they were doing well, I would entertain any offer. But A-Chain's value is sky high. If you're taking anything medium range, no. You roll him out there. He's explosive. He's the Tesla. We're going to call him the Tesla from now on. A-Chain's new nickname on the show is the Tesla because he accelerates like a Tesla. It's like no other car or vehicle or person's going to compete with him off the line. Off the line, he is the most acceleration I've seen from a player in quite some time. About a, 12, 13-yard pass by Baker. Was that Auden that caught that? Okay, so first down, Bucks marching down the field. Baker, impressive Baker. I'm really excited for Baker. I really am. This is somebody that said Baker was going to struggle. He looked like trash in the preseason, which was true. In the offseason, which was true. And I'm still going to, even though I said what I said, I'm still rooting for him because that's the kind of person I am. I don't care. Baker, I hope he does well. Mike Evans. A lot of the reason, because, too, to be selfish, but I want these other players to be doing well. But you got to sell high on A-Chain. And we're talking like Camara, JT, A.J. Brown before this game. That's selling high. That's selling high. All those would be acceptable to some degree. Matt with the super chat did not include it. Matt, try and include it with it if you could, broski. I think you may have dropped a super chat of $4.99 but didn't include the message. Let me see if I can find any other message. I can't find another message from you either, so I appreciate you dropping that, though. And I'll keep it over here and try and be mindful. Actually, I'll just keep it on the screen. I'll look for a second and see if you've got another message. Joe Burrow walking out without a limp. Joe Burrow without a limp. There's none of this. There's none of this cane stuff. Joe Burrow has let go of the cane. No walking stick, nothing. Looks like he's coming out with some mojo. Own Tank and A-Chain in my main league. Thanks to you. Again, appreciate that comment, bro. You are the man. FSZB coming in with a $10 hauler. Baker scrambling. Baker getting out of a mess. He says, come to me. He scrambles. Baker. Nice little move. It was third down. He reached as far across the field as he could as he ran out of bounds. Did not get the first down. Fourth down and probably like 5. And Baker, very impressive run and scramble. FSZB starters, D. Watson, Josh Jacobs, Davante Smith, Diggs, D. Smith, Hawkinson, Godwin, Bench, Love, Dell, Jonathan Taylor, Roshan, and more. Who do I sell and who do I buy? I like this team a lot. I'm selling in certain levels. I like it. I'm selling away Deshaun Watson on the high, and I'm putting Jordan Love into my lineup. He's getting his 2 best players back. He's been doing all of this without his 2 best players. The Eagles returning this one down to about the 43-yard line. Unbelievable return. Philly getting a great field position in the 0-0 game with 6:25 left. D. Watson, sell him away. Josh Jacobs, sell him away. Who do you get? Bijan. Who do you get? Jacobs for Gibbs and a wide receiver like Christian Watson. Do you have Christian Watson? Usually someone does when I'm reading that off. Godwin, depending on what he does tonight, you look to deal him. Dell, you wait on JT. Go get Camara. Josh Jacobs for Camara. Throw in a player like freaking, I don't know. You could throw a Godwin in to get a Christian Watson. You could try and downgrade your player and really be upgrading Dell for Christian Watson type of move to get that Camara and Jacob swap. That's what I'm doing. Going after those players. Also, buy low on Eckler, buy low on Aaron Jones, buy low on Gibbs, buy low on Hall. You could buy low on Pollard a little bit. Swift ripping off another one. That was about like what? Like a 8 to 9 yard run? Swift looking like, well, Swift. He's swift and speedy. Would you trade Breece Hall for A-Chain? Probably. That's the nature of this game, fantasy football we play. I still love Breece Hall, but would I take A-Chain? What does the chat think? A-Chain or Breece Hall? A-Chain or Breece Hall? Please vote in the chat. Please vote in the chat. I swooped up Josh Palmer and Williams with the Williams injury. Yeah, you do got to do that. I would take Quentin Johnson first. Swift with a little bit of a trip up. Gets about 2 or 3 yards on that carry. $2 hauler from Cyanide. Appreciate you. Do I hold Sharps? Roshan didn't get A-Chain or Dell. Man, I mean, you got to hold Sharps. He's getting used. And Roshan, I definitely feel like, remember how A-Chain didn't feel how he feels now 2 weeks ago? Roshan still has that potential. Okay, so don't cut him for anybody, but you definitely, it depends on what you're looking at. Goddard catching a nice little, I don't know, what was that, a 5 or 6 yard gain? Third down, there's a PPR point. DeAndre Swift season is upon us.
To the moon.
So excited for Swift. 0-3. 1 QB, 0.5. My friend's team needs work. My friend, Tony, it's okay if it is actually your friend. It's just funny. My friend wants to know. My friend's team. You're a good guy though. If you really, if you're just joking with that, if you're serious and you're actually super chatting for your friend, you're an amazing person. Swift ripping off a big one. Swift down to about the 12-yard line. That was at least a 10 or 12-yard gain. I don't know. I barely caught it mid-run. Swift going. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Feeling good. Feeling good again. Nothing like a little antidote. Little antidote, Swift. Oh. Let's see here. A-Chain better situation. A lot of A-Chain votes. So hopefully that A-Chain vote in the chat. Make sure you go watch it on that. A-Chain for Hall. They took Swift out. Oh, I hate when they do that. But that's all right. Throw a little touchdown. Fade to A.J. Brown, if you will. Little injury might get Swift back on the field. Okay, so hopefully Dean's okay. But Dean, we appreciate you taking one for the team so DeAndre Swift could get a little water and get back on field. So Dean, we hope you're good though. But Dean, thank you for that timeout. Needs work. 1 QB, 0.5 PPR. QBs, Burrow. Well, let's see if Burrow is the problem. He might not be anymore. AR5, JT Hall, Dylan, Roshan, Wilson, Diggs, Dotson, Elijah, Burks, and Goddard. Not much you can trade on this team right now. You're waiting on AR5. You're trading, if it's a 1 QB, you're trading Burrow tonight off of a big game and you start AR5. Or whichever one you could trade higher. I'm guessing you could trade a lot for Burrow if he pops off. Let's just hope Burrow and Chase go nuts tonight. And this is one of the stories of the week. Wilson, Diggs, Dotson, Elijah, Burks, Goddard. You got to wait. There's not much to trade. You're waiting on JT. Maybe JT opens the door for your buddy to make some trades later, but he's waiting on Burrow. You got to trade Burrow. That is your way out. Running backs like Hall, Gibbs, AJ Brown would have been perfect. Ridley on the low. Swift looks amazing. Yes, he does. Slayer. Yes, he does. Swift is looking like a monster right now. And I hope he goes back into the game. Okay. Bryson. Would you trade Amon-Ra and Hawkinson for Pickens and Eckler and Kittle? I'd rather have Amon-Ra and Hawkinson, I think. Only because you don't really know. It's not a bad idea, but it depends on your team. If you can't win with what you have, why not swing? But if I'm choosing based on the talent and based on the projection of staying healthy and Will Eckler be healthy? You know, with Mike Williams down, that means that Eckler's going to be used more. Eckler's going to be a big buy low this week. Okay, and a lot of people are going to be uncomfortable with that. Smitty, you said avoid him. Now you're flip-flopping. It's not flip-flopping. It's called adjusting and adapting and buying low on a player everybody else drafted that we said not to buy high. So, from Arizona, let's go Swift. Won't make the same mistake again. Attaboy, So! Saul benched him last week, and I psychoanalyzed him. He said, do I sit him this week? I said, why? There's no way. You had to have sat him the week prior. And I got him on the phone. He admitted, you're right, Smitty. You psychoanalyzed me with your psychology degree. I said, Saul, the only way someone's going to bench him this week is if they benched him last week because they want to confirm what they did wasn't wrong last week. And look how upset you'd be. Swift to the moon. Appreciate you. Saul coming in strong. All right, after this play, I might call it a wrap and then go into, waiver wire mode. Okay, 1st and 10. For all my YouTube exclusive members, I got a little change in the $9.99 plan. So right now, if you're a YouTube exclusive member, $1.99, you're supporting the channel. You get the emojis. Everybody knows you're a member because you got a green name. Your name's green. You're a monster is what you are. Now I'm going to drop this link right now. If anybody wants to become a $9.99 super chatter, a $9.99 YouTube exclusive member instead of the $1.99, you're going to get priority. Goddard catching the ball, flag on the play. You're going to get priority comment replies on the YouTube videos. So that means not during the live chat. That means when the video's done, if I can sort and filter by $9.99, $1.99, and whatever, so I can use the YouTube feature to filter, and you'll get priority commenting on videos that are up for the first 48 hours. So if a video like this is going to be up on YouTube the first 48 hours, I'm going to try and get back to almost everybody that has the $9.99 plan, and I probably will. So you'll get priority comments from me and replies from me by just being a $9.99 member instead of the $1.99. And I just dropped the link right now, so I'll pin it real quick. And if you guys want to upgrade, and you can upgrade and downgrade at any time on YouTube. They make it very easy. It's all done through YouTube. It is 2nd and 15. Maybe they do a little draw play to a man named DeAndre Swift is kind of what I'm feeling. Is he in the game, or is this Gainwell? They try to screw the pooch here. Okay, Swift is in there. Okay, 3rd and 15. Anybody want to upgrade, you'll get priority commenting. Second of all, on top of that, I'm going to release more in form of posts. So if you go to the community tab on my YouTube, so let me show you real quick an example of what that looks like. This join button is how if you ever want to upgrade later, I just dropped the link and pinned it, but later on you're going to click on memberships or join if you ever want to upgrade your $1.99 or downgrade or whatever. Memberships or join. On mobile, it's memberships. And right next to it, this community tab, right next to it, let me highlight it real quickly. Hurts drops back, scrambles to the right, throws it out of bounds. Field goal time. Right here on community. This community right here, or on desktop community. Right there, I'm going to start posting articles that are for the $9.99 people only, and there'll be early bold predictions, early directions of the show. Hey, we might buy low on this. I'm going to give little nuggets out. Then on top of that, I might do a waiver wire, pre-waiver wire show, like right when we get off here, where I post, hey, who are your top pickups? And we can all kind of communicate in the comments and corral a bunch of good names together that we're going to talk about live on the show. So get ready for that. Appreciate you all. I'm going to watch the rest of this game. It is 3-0. The Eagles with 3 minutes left in the first quarter. Last super chat of the day is from Uzi. I lost Chubb. Now Mike Williams. Can I get a Watson for Zach Moss? You could. I don't know, good or bad. I'd rather shoot for A-Chain, obviously, but Watson's going to be so much more valuable soon. I don't know. Zach Moss is pretty good, though. It's not bad. He's getting the work. I don't hate this move. It's not horrible. It's actually pretty decent. I think if you need an RB, I don't mind it. If you need a wide receiver, I don't mind it. So it's definitely like, I think good for both sides. Appreciate your super chat. I'll see you guys all later tonight for the live waiver wire show. And for those of you that want to have a live conversation about the week number 4 waiver wire, guys, join me on the community tab. I'll post a message here shortly for all the $9.99 guys. Appreciate you all. I'll see you later tonight.
Skywalker.
We got a last minute super chat here. Got to take care of my boy John. John says, my man, who wins in redraft? I get Ridley, A-Chain, and Roshan. He gets Sun God and Warren. I'd rather have Ridley and A-Chain. I still believe in Ridley to the tune of Sun God. So I'm going to Smitty approve your side of it. Tank Dell spotted entering the stratosphere. That is correct. John, appreciate your last minute super chat. Now go get him, pal. Great job. A-Chain to the moon. A-Chain season, as we talked about all week right here. A-Chain to the freaking moon. Let's go. In fact, we got to add A-Chain to the ongoing in-season Moonman list. Now, somebody, look, we've had a lot of people upset about the in-season Moonman list, so I've given it some thought. I've tried to be objective about it, and if it's going to rub people so wrong in terms of the off-season, in-season Moonman differential, maybe we roll. Let's get a vote real quick in the chat. Would you guys prefer to have a who's hot, who's not, and who might be hot list? Like maybe 4 tiers: hot, not hot, who might be hot, who might turn to cold. So like a hot, medium, lukewarm, cold type of list. And maybe we roll with that. If that's what you guys prefer, I'm here for you. I'll reevaluate my thinking on it. There's so many people, and I said I didn't care about the haters on it and saying like, does everybody like that better? Does everybody feel like that's just better to have a current in-season hot, cold, medium, keep an eye out like type of list? If everybody likes that better, I'll go that route. Everybody's getting real upset about this Moonman list. Make the list hot, medium, lukewarm, cold, says Benjamin. He likes that better. Keep your way. I like your way. Noah says. 2 minutes and 59 seconds left. We're not changing the Moonman and Marsman list in the offseason. I'm saying, like, during the in-season, people are getting real upset about it. They get real upset about it. Let's turn it up. Fire. The reason I kind of like the idea of maybe because people are getting so upset about the move. It's every day though. The problem is it's every day, no matter what. I know everyone says ignore the haters on it, but it's like the overreactions every day. Every time I show it, 4 or 5 people are like, "But wait, we're changing the Moonman list already." We're not changing the Moonman list. We have an in-season process too, but apparently people can't. Can you explain the hot and not list one more time? No, it's pretty easy. Mike, it's just going to be who are players that we believe are going to continue to stay hot, who are players we believe to sell, essentially. There might be some middle ground, lukewarm, whatever. We'll figure it out. Can you explain the hot or not? We love the list. List is not a bad idea. Moonman, and who's your team? Thank you, KB. Appreciate you. Moonman, and who's your team? Oh, you mean tonight? I'm rooting for the Eagles here in the Bengals. But who's my team? I'm in Arizona. So Cardinals, but I don't let it influence anything. Although maybe I did. Maybe I let it influence my James Conner doubt, to be honest. So maybe that's not true. Maybe I did let a little bias inject this year. Pick one: Quentin, Dell, A-Chain, Laporta. A-Chain, full load drop on A-Chain, my guy. Full freaking load drop on A-Chain. It's not even a question.
Initiate full load drop.
All right, this return here looks a little scrappy to about the 19-yard line. Eagles coming back out. Let's wait one more drive. And then we're going to A-Chain and then Dell, bro. Maybe Laporta. Laporta and Dell are pretty even depending on your need. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Corey. Appreciate you. All right, let's go ahead and let's watch this final drive of the first quarter. Hearts lining up. Where's my football? Maybe the sunglasses. When we put the sunglasses on, people score. That's almost a guarantee. If this happens, we're wearing them. Hello, test. Okay. Swift gets the football. Takes it for about 4 yards. Okay. Flag on the play. Looks like offensive, holding. That's right. Let's give it to him again. Let's get 7 yards. Or is that defensive? Defensive. Blue 32. Hurts. We got a super chat here. Change it to Smitty's in-season Mercury. Yeah, maybe we do something with space. In-season galaxy bound. Asteroid crashing. Hurts drops back. Fires a missile to Davante Smith, first down. Let's do it. Blue 32. We got another super chat here from Michael. Would you trade Tank Dell for A-Chain? Absolutely, bro. KB, like I've been saying all show long, A-Chain's the number one full load drop, so of course you do that. Offsides on the... this is offsides, isn't it? Hurts running for about, I don't know, maybe 4 yards shy of a first down. Second down, 29 seconds, 28 seconds, 27. Ticking down. I know I'm a little bit behind. Everyone says I got a YouTube huge delay, but it really is just the YouTube delay. It's not my TV necessarily. I'm trading for Laporta. Is Davante too much? No. I think if you need a tight end, that's a fantastic move. Laporta's like tight end 2 or 3 right now, depending on your format. Hurts taking a snap. Now, granted, this is the first half. They're just letting the time run out. All right, we gotta wait till this drive ends before we hit the old end show button. The little old end show button. For those of you that left already, what were you thinking? Hit that thumb up button. Drop McLaurin for Dell, probably. A-Chain is pronounced A-Chain. Everybody pronounces it different, bro, and you'll hear a lot of announcers say A-Chain. A lot of different people say A-Chain. He's the A-Train. The A-Train. A lot of people say A-Chain, bro. A-Chain. Keep feeding it to Davante. I can get behind that. Keep feeding it to Davante. Let's hand the football off to DeAndre. Let's get DeAndre going. Let's get him marching down the field like a monster. We might have to have like a time machine. Like a time machine men. Like go back in time. If we could go back in time, this is a top 5 running back. Boom. Could go back in time. This is a top 5 wide receiver. The go back in time list. If Smitty could go back and redo something, what would it be? These are the top 5 redos. That might be a good list. Smitty, did you see my super? Yeah, Kilpatrick, I just hit it. Trading for Laporta. Didn't you hear me? I said if you need an RB, if you need a tight end, I'm okay with Laporta. If you're making that trade, bro. If you need Laporta, either side, depending on your position of need, that's a really fair trade. Very, very fair trade. Appreciate you, Kilpatrick. Going nuclear list, maybe. I think something like Galaxy Men, or something to the tune of like in-season space monsters or whatever, and then maybe, what do you call it when you throw someone out the airlock? The airlock men. Players were throwing away. So I think it'll be Space Monster, mid-season Space Monsters. Players were putting in the airlock waiting room, and then players were sending out the airlock. Maybe it'll be a 3-tier system. All right, Hurts back to in shotgun. Hand it or throw it to Swift. 3rd and 5. Final play, I think, unless they get a first down here. $20 hauler.
Alert. Super chat alert.
$20 hauler. Who would you trade to get Watson? My team is Love, Fields, Walker. All right, hold on one second. From Shotgun. He says Blue 32. Scrambling. Hurt scrambling. This ain't going to end well. Okay. They're punting. I was hoping we'd get something else out of that. Okay. Don't worry. It's still the beginning of the second quarter. Hurts going to the sidelines, punting the football away, 4th and 5. Bucks getting the football back. Who would you trade to get Watson? My team is Love, Fields, Gibbs, Walker, Pacheco, Charbonnet, Hill, St. Brown, Ridley, Dotson, Judy, Deontay, Ferguson. Trying to do Judy straight up for him, but he doesn't want that. I wouldn't want that either. Christian Watson's coming back. So, he's waiting. He's been waiting on him, bro. You got to keep in mind he's been waiting on him. He's the one that's done the heavy lifting. You got to see if he needs a quarterback. If he does need a quarterback, you could throw Fields in. If he doesn't need a quarterback, you could potentially go the Pacheco route. Would you get Pacheco and Judy for him? I personally would. Cut bait on Deontay. Go pick up, hopefully like Dell and A-Chain and those guys haven't been sitting out there and you're leaving Deontay Johnson on the bench. Throw in one of the tight ends if he needs a tight end. Those are all options. But I certainly wouldn't expect someone to just give him away, though. You know what I mean? You could also try throwing in maybe, a tight end, a quarterback. Don't throw Love in. And Pacheco, those are options for sure. But past that, it's gonna be hard to get him if you won't take any of that. Like those are very solid attempts at it, but doesn't mean you're gonna get it done. Yeah, we could do the black hole. Yeah, throw him in the. Rashad White catching a nice little pass, taking a football down the field about 12 yards or so. Nice job, Rashad White.
To the moon.
All right, I'll see you all later. Supernova squad. We'll come up with some good ideas. I get it. I get why people are. I guess I don't get why people are so upset about it, but I understand that it's confusing some people to the point where every show, when I show it, I'm gonna do what you guys want ultimately. Supernova. Dominic with the final super chat. Pierce or Hall rest of season? Hall. And would you trade my Pierce for Hall? I would take Hall. Take Hall. It's worth it, bro. It's worth it. I mean, you're waiting on it, but you're waiting on what? Pierce and Hall are very much in the same boat in some ways. Not getting the volume, but Hall is Hall. His workload's going up every week. That's positive. And who knows what happens. Appreciate you all. I'll see you all tonight. Solar Flare, nice one, Jack. Solar Flare could take out the world. Rashad, up the gut, about 2 yards short. 3rd and 2. See you all tonight.